Yeah, for sure. Like we don't feel like pretenders at this level anymore. We feel like we belong here, and this is a club of huge size, and that should be in the latter stages of the Champions League every single year. But it's been, prior to last season, it'd been such a long time since we made the quarterfinal stage. We got there last time, as Clive mentions. We fell short. This time, you were looking at the team and you were thinking, okay, show me what you've learnt. Show me how you've grown. Show me how you've improved. And, the task you could argue is even bigger against Real Madrid and the aura that they have. As great as that Bayern Munich side are, they're not Real Madrid. Nobody is Real Madrid. This is a side that are steeped in history and that beat most teams before they even come out of the tunnel. So to see Arsenal go out there and, as Clive says, really kind of play their game, find their own game was special. And to be fair to Clive, you'd said that on a previous podcast that we did together that we had to be ourselves.
Yeah.
It was no good to sort of turning up there and sort of going into our shell. We had to be ourselves, and we did that. And so many players that, over the course of the season, you have looked at and wondered, what level they're at. Jakub Kivior especially had that nervy bit at the beginning, but sometimes you need the rub of the green. You need, when you have that moment, to not be punished. And it's felt like all season, whenever we had those moments, we've unfortunately been on the wrong side of the outcome. And then that obviously impacts confidence even further. So just an unbelievable night. What did we make? And I'll start with you, Clive, on this Bukayo Saka's performance, because I felt he grew into the game as it went on. The first 10, 15 minutes, I didn't feel he was that involved, but he grew into it. And to put in a display like that, having been out for so long and having played so little minutes since, it's remarkable.
Yeah, I sort of misread his performance. I didn't realise that he got fouled for like both the free kicks, and I thought he was just steady. And to be honest, I'm so nervous about his fitness. We can all see he's not at his sharpest, you know. So he's choosing another way to do things rather than explode and really attack the man at top speed. He's going up more in a more considered way, and he's having gear changes, you know, and slowing it down and then going playing 1-2s. And so when you look at his game, what I like about him is he's getting the most out of what he has at this moment in time. I'm not trying to be the player he was when he got injured because he was at the top of his game. He's not quite there now, but they all remember him, you know, because he ripped them on that side, didn't he? And I think when you see the game again, which I did in the night, I thought, I misread Saka's performance. I thought he was unfit and rusty, and actually he did everything he actually could. And I think Harry, the influence he has over the opposition is marked, isn't it? Right, so he boosts all our lives. Right, we can't believe he's back out there again. Our whole attack game gets lifted, but I think he makes the other team really worried. His reputation is starting to travel now, and as will other players after this game. You know, everyone watched this. So Declan Rice, mate, oh my God, you know, everyone watched it, and so yeah, fantastic performance from him.
Rory, what did you make of Bukayo Saka? I mean, it'd been so much talk about whether or not he was going to be ready to start this game. I think it was always going to be the case that even if at 75%, Bukayo Saka was going to be thrown into the arena, and he delivered.
Yeah, as soon as it had kind of been leaked in Spain that David Alaba was going to be starting at left back, I liked that matchup instantly. And I think it almost took, like you said, Saka's first 15 minutes wasn't up to it. I think it took him a little bit of time to realise just how easily he could get by Alaba either way. And the respect Alaba was showing him, knowing that he couldn't keep up. You know, it's very easy, actually, for us to get to the box when Saka picks the ball up on the halfway line and Alaba just backtracks and backtracks and backtracks all the way into the box. And, you know, first half, I thought 2 of those balls that he flashed across the box, I think if you've got an elite striker there, they probably read that situation. And he gets a couple of assists. And then, yeah, second half wins both of the free kicks. For the second, was it the first or second? One of them, he rolled Bellingham quite comfortably, carried it, and got clamped by Camavinga. That's a half-fit Bukayo Saka, and he outshone Mbappé, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo. And I think that is, you know, probably the highest praise that you can give him. And going forwards, every fullback in the world will be scared going into a game against Saka because he can go down on his right, he can come in on his left. He's just a ridiculously good player.
He is indeed. Just on the Emirates Stadium, guys. I mean, when we first moved stadium, there was a lot of talk about it not being the same as Highbury, and it took a bit of time for it to feel like home, and all the rest of it. All the natural problems that come with moving from an iconic ground like Highbury to a bowl of a stadium, right? Which is what the Emirates Stadium is. But Clive, it feels to me like since Mikel Arteta's come in particular, there's been a real emphasis on generating the type of atmosphere that we feel could help us, on making it feel more like home, in building that connection with the supporters. And no team has won at the Emirates in the Champions League since the start of last season. There's 9 clean sheets along the way there as well. How much credit does Mikel Arteta deserve for his part in that? Because, I mean, I find it wild that there are still Arsenal fans out there that are hypercritical of him, that when it comes to a night like last night, they want to give everybody else credit before they give it to him. But ultimately, so much of what we saw last night, the structure on the pitch, the atmosphere off the pitch, the connection that he's helped forge, that's all been so important. And he's been right at the centre of that. So on the stadium, how much of a difference is it making? And how much does Mikel deserve praise for that?
Yeah, I mean, if those people want to see us play Bodo Glimt and carry a bag, they're quite happy for that. I'm happy to go and watch Real Madrid at home. Thank you very much. I think we forget how far that we've come. I do feel, that bit where it said in the ground, where it said "make it happen," and I think there was a rallying call, and you can see that message was sent to the players as well. You can see that, couldn't you? Take things, be accountable, make things happen. When we're on top, can we do something? Because against Bayern, we didn't do that. And I think the press conference before the game I thought was really positive, because he literally told the fans, "I need you in there." And I think you in that press conference, Harry. I need you in there, and I need you to be there for the warm up. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to get in there a bit earlier. So I got in there a bit earlier. The ground was packed in the concourses really early, and then I go out to watch the warm up, and the lower tier is basically full up. And I've never seen that before at any point in my Emirates Arsenal watching life, and I've been there from the very first game, and so that means the messages are getting through. So for those people who are negative, which are always going to be, the people in that ground had listened to the manager, and they had turned up and did their part, and I think the players responded. So the whole connection to the club, the players and the fans, it has wavered a bit this year, and when we haven't got our striker, it has wavered a little bit, and people question our ambition in the short term, but it was back. It was back 100%. It was back for this game, because there's a time to put your small grievances to one side and really support the team, and everyone did that.